Hello, Salvadoran Warrior here. Today, we're going to talk about the class mod character that I've been playing for quite some time. And since I'm a sucker for transformation characters, this is another one that's on the list. I present to you the Werewolf Lady. Before we continue on, I just want to say, like, subscribe, comment, whatever's, you know the drill. I don't have to keep repeating it. Anyways, today we're going to talk about the character's base stats, resistances, combat skills, camping skills, and a few strategies here and there. With that said, we're just going to get right into it. Let's go. So, the Werewolf Lady, or just Werewolf, is a class mod character that has a chance to transform into the beast. And when you transform into the beast, just like Abomination, you get a boost in stats and of course some new moves to use. At the same time, you get a repose, and reposes are like really powerful in this game. So using this character is fun. The only gimmick is when you get a chance to turn into the beast, and you got some of these combat skills that will help you get there. But we're jumping ahead here, so let's get started on the stats. So let me remove this real quick. So these are the stats. She has a lot of health, decent dodge. She's kind of fast, but her crit, it's okay. Combat damage is also okay too. And like most class mod characters, they rarely have an accuracy mod inherited. You usually got to get it from your quirks, or you got to get it from a trinket. So yeah, just ignore this for now. This is something that should be focused on. Really good stuff. So yeah, her resistances, however, say otherwise. So she has decent amount of stats. The only one that stands out is her bleed resistance. She has also decent trap. She has a chance to disarm traps too. So if you have a team that can't disarm traps, and you're not carrying the Grave Robber or any of the other cool characters, she can do it too. Now, one thing you should look out for is her diseases. She probably has the lowest stat here, and the only reason why it's like this is because of a certain combat skill that increases that chance to get a certain disease, but we'll talk about that later. For now, just keep this in mind. She can get sick real easily. And like most class mod characters and official characters from Darkest Dungeon, everybody, and I mean everybody, shares the 67% chance of a death blow. Death is always fair. Overall, dodge is pretty good. She has a lot of health, but that doesn't mean she's tanky. That just means she can take some hits, and that's only because she has a repose when she turns into the beast, and like I said, stats get increased too. I may not know those stats, but I just know that it feels a lot stronger than her human form, obviously. So while I'm trailing off, let's get into the combat skills. Now, these combat skills are divided by 2. 4 moves will be dedicated to her human form, and the last 4 will be her beast form. So yeah, one combat skill shares both human and beast. So our first combat skill is Bloodshed Claws. Bloodshed Claws can be used in positions 1, 2, and 3 and can hit both positions on the enemy side on 1 and 2. On the human side, she has a chance to turn into the beast, a 35% chance, and it activates repose when the beast kicks in. And of course, actually base is like 110, mod damage is like a 50%, so it does decent damage with a crit of 4% and can lower the monsters or the enemies bleed resistance by 33%. So when she turns into the beast, that changes. So instead of lowering their bleed resistance, she can now inflict bleed with 4 points for 3 rounds. She makes them bleed for 4 damage for 3 rounds. And this move also has a good chance to turn yourself back into a human, and that chance is a 20%. Now, this move is like really, really good, but just remember, when you're a human, you get pushed forward. That's something else I forgot to mention. If you're a beast, however, you'll stay in one position. So just keep mindful of that. Don't be spamming it a lot. If you feel like you're going to turn into the beast, you can use this move. Or if you're using a shuffling team, this is also good to throw out too. So don't be like me on the first time and use this move like crazy. But it is good. Part of the reasons why I'm using it like crazy. She also has another good move too. This is not something you should be spamming all the time. This move, however, is something you want to consider. Horrendous War. Horrendous War is a move that can be used in positions 2, 3, and 4 and can hit any position on the enemy side. It is a range move, but the accuracy is like at 120. Damage is a little higher because the damage mod is like negative 35, and the crit is 12%, and it can shuffle the entire enemy team. Well, not the enemy team, but whoever is being hit by this move can be shuffled forward, and it lasts for 1 round, and you can really mess up their positioning. Keep in mind though, if you do use this move, you have a 50% chance in turning into the beast with an active repose. However, it does stress out the team by 4%, and that's a 15% chance. I mean, 4 points, 15% chance. That's what I meant. Yeah, this move is really good. Don't worry about the stress number of 4 points. Who cares? What matters is that you're ruining the enemy positioning, and it's really, really good. And since you got that 50% chance, you can just spam it until you get it. Really good stuff. All I have to say about it. Nothing more. If you feel like it's a little too OP, here's another move that's kind of OP, but kind of a risk taker if you want the enemies to be focusing on you. Taunt is a move that can be used in positions 1, 2, and 3, and it targets the self, but it activates a repose with a buff of 20% damage, 5% crit, and will increase the chance of turning into the beast by a 65% chance. Debuffing marking is prevented. So at some point, the marker will go away if you do turn into the beast. And if the enemy tries to mark you, it won't happen. But I don't know how long that debuff will last though. Keep in mind though, this is really good if you want to activate the repose anyway. And when you're a human, you can still do things. If they hit you, you'll take a lot of damage, but the damage you'll inflict back is amazing. So this is really good to use. Don't be afraid to use this move. I know I said it's a risk taker, but it will benefit you. It will benefit you. That's what I meant. It will benefit you if you take the 65% chance and turn it into the beast. Probably the highest one you want to take. But if you feel like marking yourself is too dangerous, this is also good. And like I said, this is only good if you're in a shuffling team or you have a good feeling that when you move forward, you're going to turn into the beast. And whoever you're pushing back to position 3 or 2, hopefully it will benefit their positioning. You want to consider that too, but I'll talk about that in detail later. The last move that you can use as a human is this one, Smoke Bomb. Now, it can be used in positions 1, 2, and 3. It hurts the entire party by 1 HP of damage, but it clears marked targets and it buffs you for 17 points of dodge. And this time, you won't be able to get marked by the enemy, except for yourself. But everyone else, totally fine. Really good. Getting marked is a very dangerous situation, but using Smoke Bomb will get you out of that dangerous situation. You don't know how many times I died to being marked by the enemy, and it sucks. But doing this will suck less. You'll suffer 1 HP of damage, but it's alright. You're not gonna die. You'll be fine. Overall, the human abilities are really good tools to get you turned into the beast. Now, unlike most transformation characters, where when they transform, it messes up their stress, or they get horrified, or something surprising, with the werewolf lady, she doesn't affect the party's stress or doesn't inflict horror, due to the fact that when she's turned into the beast, people will understand that she's struggling to fight back the beast. If you want to know more, when I put the link in the description for the class mod character for you to click and download, there's a little backstory in that page that you can look at. Really good stuff and kind of heartbreaking in a way. Anyways, let's talk about her beast abilities. I already talked about this move where as a beast she gets to inflict bleed instead of lowering the bleed resistance. So we're going to talk about the last remaining 3. Savage Feast is a combat skill that can be used in positions 1, 2, and 3 and can hit the entire enemy line. Accuracy base is like 110. Mod damage is -45, so you'll be doing good damage. But the crit mod is -2%. And it does pull you forward. Keep in mind though, you get a -50% of accuracy, damage, and crit if the enemy's not bleeding. There's also other factors that kick in, like if you see one of those weird mushroom corpses, you won't be doing any damage, or if there's like blockages like wood and stuff, you won't be able to do damage either. But if you see corpses, not only will you do the full damage, but at the same time you'll get health back too, 70% of health back, and that's based on damage. However, by eating all these corpses, you have a 3% chance of catching rabies. And when you catch rabies, as a beast only, it will benefit you, for it buffs up your damage from what I heard. Keep in mind, when doing this, you have a 20% chance of turning back into a human. This is really good if you're wanting to self-heal. And this is also really good if you're those crazy people that like playing this game of corpses. I know it's rare to find characters that clear corpses, and there's tons of class mod characters that can clear corpses too. The werewolf lady is one of them, so I recommend when you're in that situation, you do this, but don't depend on it, because again, you have a chance to turn into the beast, and sometimes it's not guaranteed. So please reconsider that when you're seeing corpses on the field and you're betting for the werewolf lady to turn into the beast. You can still do it to people, but make sure they're bleeding too. Next is Headbutt. This move can be used in positions 1 and 2 and can hit the enemy's position from 1, 2, and 3. Actually base is 115. The mod damage is kind of decent because it's sitting on a negative 67%, but the crit mod is at a 6%, so it's really good. It pulls you back on one position and it stuns the enemy, and you know, it's always guaranteed. Keep in mind, you do get a stress heal of -4, but that's a 20% chance. You also get a 20% chance of turning into a human too. Really good. It's like the Abomination's Headbutt, but you get all these crazy things instead of just a stun. So I say it's, you know, good to use. Don't sleep on this. If you need to stun someone, this is the move that you want to bet everything on. Don't try to power through it. Stun is also pretty powerful, but you got to plan it. That's just my advice. The last combat skill is Regain Humanity. It can be used in any position, and you stress heal for -10. You clear a mark, you clear a horror, you get buff of 20 points of dodge, 3 points of speed as a human, and when the battle ends, you'll get a 5 stress heal if in ranks 2, 3, and 4. So when you're in the beast, you can do this anytime you like. And when you're using these other moves and you somehow turn back into a beast, you can use this move again. Unlike most transformation moves, you get a 1 or 2 time use, and that usually, you know, plays on strategy. Like for an example, Abomination. When you turn into the beast, there's no turning back. You're stuck as the beast until the battle ends. To where most other class mod characters, you turn into this one thing, and when you revert back, that's it, no more. You only want to revert back unless it's an emergency or you need to do something. This one, you can just kind of take advantage of the -10 stress heal and just try to cycle through it. But like I said, don't bet on it, because again, the chances of turning into the beast differs with RNG, and you don't want to test RNG. Trust me. All I'm saying is this move is really good if you really need the stress heal. That's it. Overall, the combat skills are really, really good. I like the switcheroo stuff, and having that chance to turn into the beast is also exciting stuff. And it could also play into like really good last minute strategies that you want to pull off. Reposes is also really good too. Everyone loves reposes. You can't lie to yourself. Other than that, really good stuff. So what happens when you're camping? Well, here we are. Camping skills. Now, most class mod characters / official darkest dungeon characters come with encourage and bandage, and the last one is I forgot what the last one is. Pep talk. Yeah, pep talk. It's whatever's. They're not that impressive, but we don't have to deal with pep talk today. Now we got 5 camping skills that are unique to the class mod character. So I'm going to try to run this through really quickly. Hobby is a time cost 2, and on the self only, she heals herself for -12 stress. Really good, really cheap. Totally recommend. The next combat skill, the next camping skill is Bite the Hand. It's a time cost 2, self only. She can heal herself by 70%. She removes the morality debuffs if you're playing with that, by the way. And all companions receive a +10 stress. But don't worry, that's a 67% chance of them getting it. And on one companion only, we'll suffer 35% HP damage with a 2-point bleed for 3 rounds. And that's a 90% chance. Yeah. This ability is, well, this camping skill, I kind of like judge it in a way, but that's only if you have a morality debuff. And if you're playing games with morality debuffs, it can really suck and cripple your team if, you're trying to get through a dungeon. So I would recommend this if you're planning to use morality debuffs. If not, yeah, you can skip this. That's funny though. The next camping skill is Beast Within. For time cost 3, you will get negative 12% chance of receiving damage, but that's only if it's in beast mode. And if you are in beast mode, you get 4 points of speed, and this differs towards fighting other beast-like monsters. These buffs last for 4 battles. Yes, and yes. I recommend it if you have the time, due to the fact that you're going to be reposed and they're going to hit you, and you want to make sure you take those hits. And sometimes those hits hurt, but getting that negative 12 damage received can change the game and will save your life too. So I recommend Beast Within. The next camping skill is On the Prowl. It's a time cost 5, and it's a nightmare prevention, but the party receives plus 3 speed of points, 10 accuracy of points, and 5% of crit. However, all these activate on the first round. It's okay. There's a time prevention, sure. However, it's really expensive, and if you really want that first round advantage, I guess this is your camping skill of choice. You will get the nightmare prevention, and having good nightmare prevention is just really, really good. So this is something I also recommend. The last camping skill is Gathering Ingredients. It's a time cost 1, so cheap as hell, and it will attempt to make elixirs, and you can use this twice. And these elixirs, they vary. It can heal you, stress heal you, and I think that's it. Just those 2 elixirs. But they're very random. So you get a 50-50 chance of getting the stress healing one or just a straight up healing one. So I guess I would recommend this. Overall, these camping skills are very situational, but it's the good type of situational. So if you're playing with debuffs, you're playing with morality debuffs, you can do this and hope to God you don't have to use it. But if you do, here it is. If you're not, this is something I also recommend. Or, you can do this, but I mostly recommend this if you're not doing the morality debuff run. So that's pretty much it. Overall, camping skills are good. Let's talk about what you want to do with her. Now, as you see right here, she's really strong in positions 1, 2, and 3. So you want to try to create a shuffling party team for her. People like the Shieldbreaker, Jester, Crusader's also good to have. Same thing with Highwaymen, a little bit of the Grave Robber, stuff like that. You want to make sure that this character is moving, and you want to make sure that it's doing whatever it takes to turn into the beast, because you got the human abilities that helps that, and 2 abilities that have a higher chance of doing so. I'm just saying, man, just experiment, see what team works with her. And if you have more class mod characters that synergizes with her, try that too. Overall, I love this character. She's been great so far. One last thing to mention, she has trinkets that not only benefits the werewolf, but it also benefits the abomination. As you can see, right here, this is like the only trinket that I have for her for so far. If you see other trinkets that says werewolf or abomination only, slap this on abomination and just watch how crazy things get when you're using the abomination. I just feel like they're secretly best friends. It's just two different beast-like monsters. Overall, she's really fun. That's basically what I'm trying to get at. Her lore is also really brutal. I recommend you do that, as I leave a link in the description for this class mod character. And I know it's been kind of rough. I haven't released a video like in 2 months. I've been really busy with work, but things are slowly coming back together now. Just slowly. Yeah. Look forward to more class mod characters. So when this video ends, there should be a small montage on what this character can do. And until then, I'll see you guys on the next class mod review. You guys take care of yourselves. I'll see you later.
whisper of conspiracy.